Hello, everybody, and welcome. Let's call it the Eddie Mata Show. Tonight's guest is a guy that's been with the Florida/Miami Marlins organization since 2002. He started his intern there, and in 2010, they gave him the job as the traveling secretary. Now, this is a lot of behind the scenes in Major League Baseball. I'm talking about transportation. I'm talking about booking flights, buses, their entourage, family trips, you name it. He's a 24/7 man when it comes to traveling. Please welcome the travel secretary from the Miami Marlins, Manny Colon. Welcome to the show, my man. Look at you. What's happening?
Hey, Eddie, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, man,
Awesome.
it's an
Good
honor.
time. Chilling here.
You know, being a Miami Marlins, the organization, this is a really tough job. I did my research on this, all right? Pretty much, you're on call 24/7. And what I mean by that, your GM calls you at 2 a.m. and says, hey, bring this guy up from the AAA. Get him here. He's going to start tonight. This is at 3 a.m. That means,
At,
right? So
yeah,
what you have to do when he calls you, when he tells you that.
at 3 a.m., and you can just tell yourself, it's just you, the internet, and I'm lucky that our travel agency, I have a 24-hour hotline I can call, and I can get a travel agent across the country at any time. Sometimes if I can't get a hold of somebody, I do it myself. You know what I mean? But it's 2, 3 in the morning. So, sometimes you're getting woken up right in the middle of the night. You're like, oh man. And then think about it. Depends on where AAA or AA is. You might not be able to get a flight that quickly. You know.
Right.
So
Oh,
I always like to tell my GM, hey man, any advance notice you can get me, woo, hook a brother up.
right. Because you gotta not only
Yeah.
you gotta get his flight, you gotta get his transportation, you gotta get him a hotel too, right? You gotta get him all that.
Yeah. All that the hotel stuff, if we're in Miami, that's easy, you know what I mean. I got a lot of great relationships. Remember one thing I definitely want to tell you about my job. It's probably most in in most people's jobs, but mine, it's relationships, man. My relationships take me the distance. There's things that I can do that if I didn't have these relationships, I wouldn't be able to do them,
So
so
you
it's all about relationships. But yeah, hotels in Miami easy, but think about it. If it's doing boat show, or if there's a huge event going on in town, uh, the whole town could be sold out, Eddie. You know what I mean? And
right.
then that's when these relationships, this is where it helps me. Okay, Manny, I got the last room. I'm gonna give it to the Marlins, and then I get in, I put the player in there. But that happens a lot, man. I remember Miami is like New York City, like San Francisco, like Denver. Event towns. Event towns are kind of hard, man. Yeah.
Right. And here's another thing what you guys do that I didn't even know. You guys also communicate with the pilot, right? So give me an example. You have a game Friday, Saturday, Sunday is getaway day, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you got a game Sunday, average game is 1 p.m., right?
Correct.
What
110. Yeah. 105, 110.
what time do you call the pilot and tell him, hey, you got to show up at this time?
So we fly with Delta Airlines. You know what I mean?
Oh,
There's about 12 teams that fly with Delta Airlines. They're professional, cream of the crop airline. Around the world. Uh, it's all set already, man. I already have a schedule set. I do that like in the fall. I set the schedule up, and then I got charter coordinators. I can contact them. I actually don't talk to the pilot until I get on the plane. You know what I mean?
okay.
But I have people that I make a phone call and I can get access to the pilot. But I don't really need the pilot until I get on the plane. So my charter coordinator, if I see weather in the air, if I see weather when I wake up, I make that phone call to my charter guy. Hey, what's your radar looking like? What do we got? You know what? It says it's 100% down here. It's going to rain every minute, every second while we're down here. Let's start working on secondary plans. I do that in the morning. That's the stuff people don't see,
But
And
here's
I'm
my
phone calls. Yeah.
but sorry, Manny, but here's my question is that when okay, let's say you organize that, but then you guys go to extra innings. He still has to wait for you guys, right?
They have to because it's a charter plane. It's completely chartered. So it's we're not flying in commercial, so we're the only ones on the plane. It's like that's our plane, and that's how we travel. So they have to wait for us. Yeah, that happens. You know something, man? Always happens in New York, Eddie. What do you got, man? New York. So I've done a lot of audibles in New York where weather, and I'm fortunate that when we're playing the Mets,
Hmm.
what, Eddie? I got two airports right down the street, right?
Yeah.
Literally 25, 30 minutes away. So plane, it's still in JFK, but we're leaving out of LaGuardia. So what happens? They call me, hey, we can't get the plane to LaGuardia. You're gonna have to wait these 2, 3, 4 hours. In my mind, I'm like, what? We ain't waiting 4 hours, man. Hey, tell them we're going to JFK. Remember, I got the buses.
Right.
So
Right.
I told the bus driver, hey, we're not going to LaGuardia. We're going to JFK. That happened twice last year, man.
Wow. But what about?
Quick. You got to think quick, man. You got to think quick. My job for me, I want to make sure there's no dead time. I
Hmm.
want to make sure we're moving because while we're moving, we're going to get to that city early. We're going to be efficient. And if we're going home, that's more time they can be with their families.
Right. So give me a smooth schedule. You leave City Field, 4 o'clock. The game is over. What time are you at the airport by? If the game's over by 4 on a Sunday.
Or if we're leaving out of LaGuardia, what 4:20? Not even that. It's so close. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm just
But
saying, give me the schedule as far as the game's over at 4. They take their showers. Everything. They get on the
so
bus.
this is what I do. This is what I do. We have the guy at the charter coordinator and I. We have a set stone schedule where whatever time the game is, Will's up 4 hours and 45 minutes after the start first pitch. So game is at 1:10.
Uh huh.
We got to be in the air by 5:55.
Oh, so they got.
That's what we
So
Does it happen that way? No. I'll tell you. Yeah. We always Don Mattingly, the coaches, we all have a running joke where like, it says 5:55. Usually we leave 30, 40 minutes, or I change it up a little bit and I try to estimate and guess. And that's the waiting game. That's the guessing game of the road trip. Let's see if Manny hits it on. If he's 2 minutes off, if he's 5 minutes off. But usually that's the standard. 4 hours, 45 minutes after first pitch.
so fans cannot get offended on getaway day when these players can't sign autographs, right? They gotta go.
We gotta go. We gotta go. It's we're moving. We gotta go. But that 4:45 that includes the game. That includes like 40 minutes after the game. Guys shower up, get moving, and then we get on the bus and we leave. So
What about taxiing on the runway? Like, for instance, like, could you guys be like, you're probably 10th leaving, or you're probably 17th leaving, or you're like number 2 online?
unfortunately, man, the FFA regulates all that. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
So you
and
have
the
no
government.
control of that.
Yeah, there's no control over that, not at all. I wish, man. Sometimes you're sitting there, dude. You're just sitting there. What's going on? And, that's when I'll go up to the front of the cockpit and I'll talk to the captain. Hey, Cap, can you let the whole crew, the whole team know what's going on? Please inform us. And then he'll inform us. Yeah.
Right. Wow. And okay, so what time will you land? What time are they going to be at their homes? That's what I want to know. Because remember, you land.
4:45, 5:55. You shoot in the air. Let's say I said 5:55.
Right.
Reality, you're going to leave at 6:30. Okay,
Okay.
let's say 6:30.
Go ahead.
6:30. It's about 2.5 hour flight down to Miami. So 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then just add an extra 15 minutes just for the hell of it. So now you're looking at 9:15. You land. Then we got to get buses to the ballpark. So then that's another 20 minutes.
Okay.
So that's 9:30. Guys ain't home till about 10 p.m., 10:15 p.m. Right
And
around there.
and you guys are close to us as far as on the East Coast. You're only a 2.5 hour flight. That's what I'm guessing.
That's probably 2:30, 2:45. Our shortest flight is which is not in our division. It's Tampa Bay, 30 minutes, literally. Whoop, whoop, and you're done.
Right. Right. Now,
And then in division, hour and 45, the Braves.
now let's speak about hotels. Now this is where I read something online, especially in postseason. You guys book a hotel, but all of a sudden there's a rain out. So you have to literally book for like 2 days just in case, right? When it comes to like in the postseason, if you guys make it.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta you have to have special language in your contracts. If you don't, you can get into trouble. But MLB is always your backup. They're always taking care of you.
Okay, so
When
when
you
it comes to the
when
postseason,
you get, yeah, when you get to the promised land, MLB's helping you out through the whole road. You know what I mean? They're gonna help you out. You're gonna have backup. And what's good is if you're going to a city you've never been,
hmm
I'm blessed. I'm in a fraternity of 30. So we all talk, we all share. I can call one of my guys that are in that city. Hey man, what hotel's a nice hotel? What's a decent hotel? I want to go here. I want to go here. But remember, if you're in the playoffs, those cities are sold out. So you gotta negotiate. You gotta regulate. You gotta once again relationships
right?
plays in there.
So you
Yeah.
got to be really, really friendly with the guy that's hooking you guys up. Like you got to be like, yo, you're my king right now. Please, you need tickets? I got you, right?
Whatever, man. As long as my important thing is give me 100 rooms. In my mind, if we're gonna go to the playoffs, 100 rooms takes care of your team and any additional family or anything you got. So give me 100, 150. My counterparts tell me, Manny, take 200. And then that'll take care of you because you're gonna use them all.
Manny, how many family trips can come on the trip? Like as far as let's say you guys go to first you go to Boston, let's say it's an interleague, and then you play the Yankees. Are they coming on two of those trips?
Now, unfortunately, we don't do family trips, but
Mm-hmm.
because remember we're on a 72 passenger plane.
Oh,
Remember, I'm traveling with like a 64 passenger group. And then in the fall, we our roster now it changes to 28 this year. Remember, rosters are 26 now, and then it changes to 28, and then so we're on a limited space on the plane, but we do allow the wives to go on the road. What they do is they players fly them in early, and they get to the hotels prior to us.
but they ask you for that, right? They request, hey Manny, can you get this hotel for my wife, right?
I help them. Yeah, yeah. It's early check-in. It's called early check-in. I'll get an early check-in for the wives and stuff. But with that questions, you're right. Some teams do like have one or two family trips. They like to pick the hot cities, Arizona, Miami, a touristy city, San Francisco, New York City, Chicago. Chicago's always a really good town to have a family trip. You know what I mean? So those are like probably I would say the hot cities for family trips. Yeah.
Manny, I know you guys have a budget when it comes to traveling, okay? I want to know what does it cost to a city like New York for a three-game series and the per diem as what do you give players?
So for when costs, I'll give you a range. I'll give you a
All
range.
right.
Hotels, just put in your mind. I tell people a hotel range. Hotels can be like from 50 to about $80,000. A three,
Three
4 day
game series.
stay.
For three game
Yeah,
series.
think about it. You're doing 66 rooms times whatever the rate is. So just an overage or a range,
Mm-hmm.
50 to about 80. I tell people per diem. It's out there. It's guys are not making this the same meal money as they did in the past. They only get I think $32 a day now. But players get all their meals taken care of all day while the season is going on at the ballpark.
Are you responsible for bringing the food, or is that the clubbies do that when it comes to?
Uh, the clubbies assist. We have our dietitian
Mm-hmm.
and he takes care of that with an executive assistant at our ballpark, and they do all that with the assistance of our equipment manager, and then I'll assist right around there once in a while because I got to cut the checks. You know what I mean? I
Right.
got to pay. I got to pay. I'm the
So,
guy paying the bills.
so you're
Yeah,
saying a three-game series in New York City is probably $80,000, but what would it be in a small city?
I would say probably like around uh 25 to about 40,000, right around there.
Are you serious?
I, I,
Saying half of that?
Yeah, because New York City is one of the prime cities in the country. That in San Francisco, for me, that in San Francisco are the most expensive cities in baseball. Stay at hotels.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
unreal. So, what happens when you said each player gets $32, right, per diem?
If it's an off day, they get about 100 something. There's this. It's I don't have the books in front of me. It's about 100 something
Now,
on an off day.
in spring training, are there any immigration issues? Like, let's say, persons from Venezuela or Dominican Republic. Is there any issues when it comes to that? As
Yeah, man. Remember, these guys are on P1 visas.
uh huh.
You have to apply for these like in October of the prior year. So P1 visas. I always tell the guys in the office, I used to do that, man, when I was coming up, when I used to be the manager of player development and baseball operations and international operations. So I know exactly what it takes to do that job. And my only advice when these kids came in and took this job and everything, I told them, hey man, apply early, pay for the premium process, and because you don't want no issues. You know what I mean? I don't want a star player from Dominican or Venezuela to be caught up in that political and that issues to trying to get into the country. So the earlier you get them done, the easier it's going to be. You know,
Yeah.
and then you try to avoid that. That's my thing is you apply early, you're going to avoid a lot of issues down the road. You know, but sometimes Eddie, we'll make a trade in January. And it's a Dominican player. You're hoping that the team that you traded for him already had a visa. So then all you got to do is a transfer. The transfer is like a payment. You just send the government a payment and you declare that you have to transfer the player. That's it. That's easy. You know what I mean? But in January to do a whole P1 visa in January, a P1 visa in January. Oh my God, you're going against time right now.
Right.
Yeah. Training starts in mid-February.
Wow. And if he have his visa, you can't get him to spring training, right?
The only way you can get him in the country is if he has a tourist visa, which, okay, he can come in. But legally, per the law, he then can't play on the main field where fans are coming inside the gate. He could play in the backfields, but he can't play in the main fields.
So how does he
until he gets the P1 visa, the work visa? Because then he's considered he's not eligible to work in the country.
Right, but how long does that take? He could play in the backfields until he gets that visa, that work visa. How long does that take?
It could take a while, but we have Major League Baseball. They assist, they help us out, and we follow every protocol. We pay for every premium process and every fee. We do exactly what we do, all 30 teams, and once in a while they can understand our situation. Because the business of baseball is different than any other business. You know what I mean?
When it comes to spring training, how many you have to pay for that hotels, but are you paying for like the AA guys, the AAA? Because most of the guys that come to spring training, it's not just the big leaguers.
Remember, I just take care of the major league players, which that can be. Remember, there's minor league players that are invited. Mm-hmm. So it's a total about usually roughly around 66 players, Eddie. 66 players, and then add your staff. You're looking at about 115 people total in camp for just Major League camp.
Wow. When it comes to so Manny, when do you actually book the flights and the hotels? Like, is it once you get the schedule? When do you get? Let's say we're in the season right now. Let's say baseball's on right now, right?
Okay, great.
Go ahead. And they give you the schedule for 2021. Let's say they give you the schedule. Are you going to work the next day, starting to book stuff?
Absolutely.
Right away.
Right away. Once I know, usually because in my position, I'm going to know 2021 sooner than anyone else. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Before a lot of people. Once I know, I call my reps. I call my hotel reps. Hey, check in, check out dates here. Protect me. Because remember, I'm dealing with other conferences, other groups that are coming into the hotel, and I'm looking for the best rate I can. Yeah.
Right. And you also got to look at the conflicts of what's going on. Is there an event that weekend, right? You got to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. It's just not baseball. I've gone into LA where the Los Angeles Lakers are playing. Then the hockey team's playing. Then the other basketball team's playing.
And they come playoffs.
The playoffs, and then we're there, and it's just, what the heck? You can't even bumper-to-bumper traffic in downtown LA. That's not fun. You know what I mean? Yes. It's not fun.
Oh, no.
Miami's bad, but LA's bad too, So
on a regular game, Manny, the bus leaves the hotel going to sit. Let's say we're in New York. The bus leaves going to Citi Field at what time from the hotel when you guys stay in New York?
It's usually like about a 1 o'clock time, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It all depends. I like to tell our players the buses are there for you. You guys tell me when you want to go.
Okay.
I'm going to take the train. I'm going to take a bus. I'll figure it out. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about them. Just let me know what time we're going to go, and we'll figure it out. I'll talk to the veterans of the team. Hey, you guys pick it up, and then I'll go to Donnie Donnie, hey man, the veterans want to do this. This is the time they want to go. Okay, great. Let's move on. Yeah.
So it's really well working with Don Mattingly, right? Out of all the managers you had, like he's simple, right?
Simple, easy, even kill, man. There's no highs, there's no lows. He's a cool cat, man.
and
Keeps it simple.
and he tells you great stories, right? When he played.
Oh, yeah, great. You ask him, he'll tell you. Yeah. But he's very humble. Very humble man, man. Yeah, very humble man. One of the most humbling men that I've met in the game. Very humble.
You know, Manny, when you introduced me to him, oh my God! I mean, I was like, I can't believe how nice he was. Here, I'm going to show you pictures. This is the time we were at Citi Field this past May. All right, I got you in here. You see us?
Yeah, that's the crew. That's the entourage crew right there.
All right, there you go. And then Mattingly actually told me, "Hey guys, let's all take a picture." After talking to him for like 10 minutes, right there, he was like, "Hey guys, let's take a." That was my crew right there.
Yeah, that's your crew.
And then in September, it was awesome because he was evaluating my batting swing right there. Oh my God, I love him, man. And actually, he said, I can hit it. And I was like, oh man, that's a huge compliment.
Hey, how about that's awesome. He loved your swing. You broke down his swing, and he was like, let me help you with that a little bit. Remember? He's like, no, it was more like this. Remember?
No. He said, no, you know what? I pull off a lot. I rolled that pitch. Yeah. No, I did it perfectly because remember, I was like this. All right, used to. I go like this. Well, before I do it, you had like 20 different, like 100 different batting stances. Why would I give you the prime one? You know?
Yeah. Oh, he loved it. Yeah.
Oh my.
Hey, how about talking about Donnie? How about you? Did you forget about? You asked me for a favor from him, and he, one of your dear friends for 9/11.
Oh yeah, my friend Joe Perk. Yeah. So
Joe Perk, how's that guy doing?
Oh, he's great. He's got 3 daughters.
I said hi. I forgot Donnie did that, man. Once I remember I walked into Donnie's office. I said, hey man, Eddie Mata has a good friend. This guy is a fireman through 9/11, and he goes, bring him in. Let's do it. He didn't even question it, man. Bring him in. Let's go.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? The crazy thing is my friend Phil Toronto. He's a sports agent down in South Florida.
Okay.
So after when I met Mattingly, when I did his batting stance and I imitated his swing. If you guys want to see that swing, I'm having problems putting the video up, but you can go to my Instagram. It's in May of 2019. You'll see it, the full video. But anyway, 2 weeks later, you guys, when you guys came back home, he was right down there, and he said, "Hey, Skip, did someone imitate your swing this past 2 weeks?" He goes, "Oh yeah, Eddie Mata. I love that guy." I was like, "What?" He said that. He's like, "Yeah."
Oh. That's awesome.
Oh my God! And then
he's a funny man.
Then 2 years ago, I told Sherman, I was like, "Yo, Sherman, Queens boy, I need a Kodak moment with you. I mean, you're the one that calls the shots right here, don't you?" He goes, "Absolutely." Here's a picture of me and him right here.
With the respect hat. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the respect hat, exactly. Listen.
You got Sherman and you got Jeter there. You got them both.
Oh, well, I need Jeter. That's the one guy, the picture I'm missing with Jeter. That's it, with the Marlins organization.
If he's watching, Jeter, if you're watching, come on, we got to get a picture with
Look at that. Look, you see, all because of you, Jeter, I wear this.
Yeah.
Did Mattingly ever get, really vulnerable? He's like, man, I wish I had won a World Series with the Yankees and stuff like that. Did he ever get, soft on you guys?
I've asked him questions about that.
Uh-huh.
He's very humble, man. It wasn't for him. It wasn't his time,
Right.
He knows that he was part of the buildup of that. You know what I mean? Because I think he was one of the last veteran guys to retire he retired right before that whole run.
95 he retired.
Exactly, yeah.
In 96.
And they went, yeah. But in 95, they made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
And he hit a home run at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, see. So we've talking about it, and he goes, my career is ended, Manny. Could I played maybe one more year? Yeah, but that's what ifs. That's what he told me. Right. He's very humble, man. Let me tell you, he's a dear good old man, man. Let me tell you.
Now, do players do research about him and say, "Wow, that's actually my manager"? Like, wow, this guy was.
I think they do, and I think they know he could hit. That's that guy roll out of the bed, hit it. You know that. We all.
Yeah.
I'm 40 years old. That was my generation, man. Donnie ran. Donnie and sorry, I got some mosquitoes over here in Florida, man. Sorry about
What
that.
they're hitting on you? You blame them?
I don't know. I don't know. But hey, let's be honest, man. Donnie and Del Murphy in the '90s. Woo! In the
Yeah.
late '80s. Come on, man.
But you know what? Let me tell you something about, a story about Mattingly. This was so interesting. Check this out. I was at Yankees fantasy camp this past January, right? I was Mike Gallego played with Mattingly. Okay?
Mike Gallego. I remember that name.
Yeah.
Second baseman.
Shortstop.
Shortstop.
Play second too. Yeah. He was with the Oakland A's too before the Yanks, and so he was on the Oakland A's with the Bashing Brothers.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, hey, Gags, give me a great Mattingly story, because that's my idol, man. I grew up to that guy, right? And he says, oh, I'll tell you a great one. He worked so hard on his hitting. So Gallego, one time in the summer, Sunday, they had a 1 o'clock game. Gallego's telling me that, man, I haven't been hitting all week. I've been struggling. Let me go to the cage early. Let me get my groove back, right? He arrives at Yankee Stadium by 7 a.m. He goes down in the basement, where the batting cages are, and he hears this noise, like it just goes, boom, boom, but you don't hear the sound of a wooden bat, the crack. You just hear it hits the back.
The backdrop.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, he sees Mattingly doing this and just taking pitches. Right? Each bucket had 300 to 350 baseballs, right? Gallego's like, hey, man, what's going on? He's like, yeah, I'm just practicing tracking the pitch. It's my focus practice. It was his fourth bucket. At 7 a.m. When Gallego showed up, he said, this is my fourth bucket for a 1 p.m. game.
I can't wait to share. I'm going to share that story with them.
Oh, make sure you tell him, baby. I'll cut this clip and I'll send it to you, that clip, and say, hey, man, is this true? And I'm sure. And Gallego and Charlie Hayes, when I was talking about Mattingly, they said that dude worked so hard on his hitting. It was ridiculous how hard he worked.
Did you see the clips of his home runs and when he hit? Man, he squared them up, buddy. He squared them up.
And what other first baseman do you see that big? He wasn't a typical first baseman that's 6'5", 220. That dude was like 5'11".
Yeah. Mr. Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah. Man, that was amazing when I met him. And he knows me of now, like, yeah, Eddie Mata. I love it. My idol, man. What's the odds of that, Good
people, man. Good people.
So, Manny, again, back to that schedule. So you get the schedule. When does the new schedule come out? Let's say there is a season right now going on, 2020. When do they say, hey, Manny, here's the new schedule for 2020?
Probably it gets disclosed to everybody, probably I would say around August, right around there. It all depends, you know what I mean? But I might have it a little before that, you know how it goes.
All right.
and once I get it, I start making the phone calls and start setting everything up at that moment. While we're traveling, I'm trying to negotiate for the next year.
Right. Manny, so any of these ball players, managers, any of them say, hey, let me take you out. Let's go out for dinner. Let's hang out. Can you form a relationship with them like that, or you want to keep your distance? I mean, you tell me. I
do. You know what? I think the more I grow in this game, and this is my 20th season in baseball, 19 with the Marlins. We've had some tragedy, losing Jose Fernandez.
That hurt the most.
So, yeah, that hurt. So from that moment on, I would never cross the line. And but you know what, man? Once again, I'm going to say the key word in my job: relationships. I like to go out with the guys and have a nice meal. I'm not going to go hang out with these guys. I'm 40 years old. I'm a little older than these guys now,
Right.
But I'll go for a nice dinner, an occasion cocktail, and then I'm gone. You know what I mean? Because, man, I'm a married man. I got kids. Remember, at the end of the day, when I'm traveling with the team, I'm like probably the top brass on the trip usually, sometimes in some cities. So if something happens, man, I got to be on my A game. You know what I mean? Right. I can't be messing around. I can't be out late. I can't just so my thing is I try to not cross the line, but dinner is always welcome. I go to dinner. We go to great restaurants. We talk about our foods, talk about life, talk about family, talk about kids. Because at the end of the day, I see these guys more than I see my family during a regular season.
Well, I always tell people once you're into baseball, especially in the big league level, that's your family for 6 months.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you got a seventh month. You definitely want to make October. Who doesn't? But
Yeah. So then, yeah, but I try to keep it professional. I got a really good group of players here. They respect me, and I respect them. And it's all about respect to me. You're saying it on your T-shirt right there. I think that our CEO, that was his motto. And let me tell you that moves all the way down to the players. That's all the way to anyone that works with the organization. Respect. That's number one, man. Number one. So that's what we do, and we respect each other, and we get it done. But yeah, man, for dinner, man, come on, man. I'm 6'2". I weigh 220. I love to eat, man. Come on, let's go eat.
All right, favorite steakhouse in the United States that you say, holy cow, this is the bomb.
I would probably have to say Pennsylvania. Uh, what's it called? Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, let me see. Yeah, man, it's gonna have to be, but I forgot the name, man. It's right next to. You know what? I'm gonna go with another one. I'm gonna go with the sneaky one. This is a sneaky one.
Go ahead.
Cincinnati, the Precinct. It's called the Precinct. The Precinct. Google that, pass boy. That's the Precinct. I think the owner Jack Ruby's. He is also Ruby's Steakhouse.
Uh-huh.
For me, it's the Precinct. I like how they prepare the steaks. I think it used to be an old actual. The restaurant was an actual old fire station. Precinct. That's what it's called. The Precinct. And it's pretty cool, man. Really nice area. Yeah, of Cincinnati.
What about Gibson Steakhouse in Chicago?
That's the one that stays open the latest.
Yes, it does.
They're really good too. That has to be top 3. Absolutely. Yeah, Gibson's is really good. I like Gibson's because they stay open until 2, 3 in the morning.
Favorite city?
Hey, extra inning games in Wrigley, and that can happen. You get out at 11:30, 12, they're still open.
Favorite city in the United States that you're looking forward to travel?
Man, I would have to say San Francisco for me.
They got a gorgeous ballpark there. That ballpark's off the.
I love the whole city. I just love how it just. I like how it flows. Right. Fun fact about me though, mom and dad are both Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. I was born on a military base. It's right down the street, Fort Ord, California. So I think that might be my emotional tie to San Francisco. That I know I was born in Fort Ord, and I just love it out there, man. I just love it. I love Monterey too. I don't know if you've ever been to Monterey.
I don't think I've ever been there. No.
That's not a Major League Baseball city, but it's an outskirts city of San Francisco. Wow. Yeah, I would say San Fran. I like it. Hey, come on, man. You go north a little bit, you're in Napa Valley.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah.
That's win-win for me. Wine.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
I don't blame you. What about as far as giving out tickets to the ball players? Do they have to pay for the tickets nowadays? How does that work?
Yeah, they have to pay taxes, man. There's no free ticket. I don't get a free ticket. No one gets a free ticket. You got to pay taxes on tickets. Yeah.
So you just got to pay taxes and that's it?
Yeah, and then you get a certain amount. You get usually 4 to 2, 4 tickets, 2 friend tickets, and then so you get 6 tickets in a game. If you're gonna go over that allotment, they'll guys will put their credit card out, Manny. I need to buy like 20 tickets. I need to buy 15. I need to buy. Hey, my mom and dad are coming. I want to get them better seats, and everything. I'm like, okay, give me the credit card, and I'll go. Sometimes with my connections with my counterpart, we can work on a trade. We can work on a better price. But overall, they have to pay. You know what I mean?
So pretty much, it's all about relationships. That means you have to have relationships with the ticket people. You have to have a relationship with the clubbies. You got to have a relationship with the pilots. You got to have a relationship with the hotel people. It's like every person.
Eddie, it took me 2 years, man. I used to blow up, man. I used to be a hot rocket, boy. 2 years, anybody would mess up, I would just flip out. And I would just get crazy. And then year 2, I realized, you know what, man? These people are doing the same thing I'm doing. They're the same people like I am and everything. I go, I'm gonna kill people with kindness, and I've chilled out a lot. And you know what I mean? Hey, man, you're my friend. Let's get this job done. You know what I mean?
Right.
Hey, my job is to take care of these major league athletes. I need you to help me. Let's make it done. You know what I mean? Let's get it done. And that's what we do.
Nah, listen. People don't realize your job. People don't really know. Who books these things. Who books
Yeah.
the flights, the hotels, who gives out the tickets, who gets them passes on the field during batting practice.
Oh, that's an annoying process. Ah. But I get it done. I get it done. It's fine. But it can get a little hectic because you're limited to so many. You know what I mean? And you go to cream of the crop cities, and then more players have family members where they're from, and
Right.
all that stuff. And then yeah, so.
Well, Manny, I keep it simple with you. I tell you, what's the best day? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Always.
What's easier for you, right? I communicate.
That's the easiest. When my friends ask me, I'm like, hey, man, the best day is the day before travel day. Like if we're leaving on a Sunday, Saturday.
Right.
We're leaving on Wednesday, Tuesday. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Well, Manny, listen, it's been great, man. Seriously, I really, really love the fact that you're on my show because the fact that just people, I love talking behind the scenes of the game of baseball or anything.
You love the game, brother.
Yeah, I love the game, and I want people to really understand what a travel secretary goes through because it's a really tough job that you're on 24/7.
They say in baseball, they say it's one of the toughest gigs in the game, and it is. But I think I'm used to it, and I think who my counterparts help me a lot, man. Anytime you're on a situation where you've never been, you can pick up the phone and there's 29 other guys that have probably done it or they've been there already, and they're going to give you some nice advice and they're going to help you through it. That's awesome right there.
Do you have an assistant too?
I don't, man. I don't have a George Costanza. I know you were going to go there, man. No, I don't have a George Costanza, man. No, I didn't put the team in the Hampton Inn. No, I can't hit home runs like George Costanza can on that video. Yeah.
Manny, you are the best, baby. I can't wait till I see you. It's going to happen soon. I mean, but it's listen, you've been great, man. This is what viewers want to see. This is what they want to hear. They want to know what's behind the scenes, and people are actually learning. Wow, travel secretary has.
I know, that's cool.
Play.
It's a good thing. And hey, we got to let everyone know who introduced us.
Oh,
it's about relationships.
All right, so here's the story. Stephen Bauer and I are great friends. That's Manolo from Scarface.
Manolo.
Yeah, exactly. And Stephen told me when I had the show. This is how it started. I had the show called Where Are They Now in Sports. I met Stephen through Nicholas Gonzalez, who's the guy in The Good Doctor. Yeah. Nick told me, "Yo, Eddie, you're gonna love him. He's gonna love you. You both love sports." So I met him at a Christmas party in L.A. at a house, and we just clicked, man. And then we went out to watch the Giants game against the Cowboys. It was like around December, and then I said, "Yeah, I got a show. It's called Where Are They Now in Sports." Like, "Yeah, I got a guy named McRae, Hal McRae's son." And I was like, "He used to work for you guys as the video guy."
And, McRae, yeah.
Yeah, and then when we went to the Marlins game, every time he says, "Listen, every time the Marlins are in town, we're going in L.A." I was like, "All right," and he would call me. He was a man of his word. And then boom, and then think about it. We know each other since 2012 or 11.
Yeah, and let's to all the viewers watching, Stephen Bauer knows his baseball.
Oh,
he knows his baseball, man. He'll get me in a corner on a field and he just start, "Why you guys do this? Why you guys this?" I'm like, "Oh my God!" But he knows his game, man. He loves baseball, loves it.
Listen, not only baseball, in general, in sports too. I mean, the guy knows football, baseball. We text back and forth. With the Yankees postseason. Then he's like, "Oh, congratulations to the 2020 World Series champs, New York Yankees, Garrett Cole." You know what I mean? Like, we just talked about the college national football game, the LSU versus Clemson.
Yeah, he's good people, man.
Yeah. Well, listen, give a hug and kisses to your wife and kids. And one more note, your brother's actually a Dodger scout, right? In the South Florida area?
Yeah, he's a Dodger scout. He knows your boy, the guy you interviewed the day before, Cliff. Yeah, they're boys. And yeah, my brother, he's actually in Puerto Rico right now. He might be watching this. I don't know. But yeah, he's a Dodger scout. He used to be the Orioles scout, South Florida and Puerto Rico. And yeah, he's back in Puerto Rico. He's expecting. His wife's about to have a baby this month, man. So it's pretty cool.
Wow. All right.
Pretty cool times.
Manny, I love you and your family. Stay safe. And we'll talk later. Thank you so much. All right?
Good times, brother.
You got it, man. Take care.
Take care, man. Awesome.